Well, this is an exciting time for the Clackamas County Event Center. Leadership here has been working on this project for decades, and it's finally coming to life, and we are so excited about that. You are sitting, and some of you are standing, on the spot where the most significant addition to the Clackamas County Fairgrounds in nearly a century will take shape. I'd like to thank you all for coming. Joining us this morning are Bill Kennemer, Christine Drazen, Clackamas County Commission Chair Tootie Smith, Commissioner Savas. I told you I would mess it up as soon as I came to it. Fair Board members Gary Linton, I see Lauren Humphreys, Matt Bunch, Shirley Byrne. Oh, and Raylene Kameyer, sorry Raylene. We're also joined by the Chamber of Commerce Director Belinda Goody and her staff. We have guests from LRS Architects, Inline Construction, the Fair Improvement Foundation, and our hardworking staff here at the fairgrounds. I love listening to the echo coming off the screen over there. This state-of-the-art, custom-built, multi-purpose event space will be transformative for both the event center and the greater Canby area. It will usher in a new era of possibilities for events, conferences, entertainment, and more. We already know that the event center is an economic driver for local business, and through this project, the impact will be even greater. It'll also be a valuable community resource in the event of disaster. The 2020 fires put an exclamation point on the need for a facility that can house people and animals during a time of emergency. Just a few months after the fires that same year, our community was clobbered with a severe ice storm. And again, we opened up our facilities as a warming shelter. Your fairgrounds aren't just for the fair or to host events. We're ready to stand up our resources to support emergency operations 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We're so grateful for our financial partners on this project. It would not have been possible without the support of Senator Kennemer, Representative Christine Drazen, the Clackamas County Commission, the City of Canby, and the Clackamas County Fair Improvement Foundation. Thank you all so much. The first round of significant funding came from former Senator Bill Kennemer and former Representative Christine Drazen, and I would like to invite them both up to talk about why this project was and is important to them. So why don't you both come up and then you can pass the mic off. By the way, I ordered this weather special for today, so there you go.
Thank you. I warned him that having us come up first might extend the day. It's so good to see you guys. I was thinking about this project, and it made me actually think of my daughter. When we were under consideration for ways that we could support the community, my daughter at that time was reading a book called Feathers. I know it's random, I'm bringing this up. But the idea of this book is these kids in this book, it's a book by a lady named Jacqueline Woodson, it's an old book. The kids in this book are having a hard time. They're struggling, and they're trying to find their place in the world. They're trying to understand their world. And there's a reference to the Emily Dickinson poem that says, "Hope is a thing with feathers." And these kids begin to understand their world in terms of each other and community and who they are and what they can contribute through this idea that there's hope. And thinking about this project, I think hope is a thing with feathers and fur and claws and hooves. And that this particular building represents hope. And for our community, if it's in an emergency, for our youth, as they're figuring out who they are. So many times in state government, we are responding to things that are just dire. So much is broken in our world right now. So much is broken in our state, in our region. There are so many things that we have to work on together that need to be fixed, that have to be improved. But this is an opportunity to invest in hope. This was an opportunity to invest in a place where community could be built, people can come together, and we have this chance for our kids in particular to figure out, how can I contribute? What does it feel like to work hard? What does it mean to grow up in a place that knows me and sees me? And how can I feel connected to others? That's what we have the opportunity to provide here at the Clackamas County Fair. And this building is going to be a part of that. So it was an absolute privilege to be a state representative for this community and to do what I could to support everywhere that I could. And I'm especially proud of this project. So thank you guys for having me here today. I'm super excited. Thank you.
Thank you, Christine. It's nice to be with you today. Now that I'm retired, I have a lot of free time. So, I was able to put together what I think is a smashing 45-minute speech. And I'll get smashed by some of the fair members if I do it. But anyhow, it's great to be here. I served as state senator representing this area, also was a state rep and county commissioner for 12 difficult years. That's a tough job because one of the things you have is the fair. And funding the fair has always been easy. That was a misstatement. It has been very difficult. And and it's important. It's quite a tradition. I was looking at the records. The first fair was held in Gladstone in 1907, and then it moved the next year, or in 1909, to here, and we've been here ever since. And it's been the result of some people who are dedicated making it work. And it's been a challenge in these later years as our economy has changed, and farming's not quite the center of activity it used to be. It's interesting to me how this fair has impacted my life. I have 2 boys, and when I got done with graduate school, I moved to the suburbs of Milwaukee, and we lived there in the suburbs. And one of the things we did every year is we came to the Clackamas County Fair. And, it's kind of interesting now. I was reflecting as I was thinking about today. I think partly because they came to the county fair, my boys are both small-time farmers in Clackamas County. And I think they remember back, and instantly they continue to come to the fair every year, as you might expect. So that's good. Let's see. Another thing about it is I owe former Representative Christine a lot of credit for working with me and working together hard on that ARPA funding. When we saw that, it was finally an opportunity to put this fair on a much better financial ground and to help it have some facilities that it needed. The one disappointment that I had is we had also hoped to have an RV village. We thought, my view, if we could have regular income, that would really help too. Unfortunately, that hasn't worked out, but we have a fabulous building coming up, and it will serve in case of emergencies as well as a really wonderful addition to the fair. And the snow damage and the age of the previous facility made it unworkable, so it was time to make a change. And I'm really excited about it. I think it's the product of all of you working so hard to make this fair a success. I think it's going to be part of what will continue to make this a very successful place. And thank you, and God bless you and the fair.
Thanks, Christine and Bill. Appreciate it. Clackamas County and the county commissioners also played a really big part in the funding for this facility and making it a reality. I would like to invite Chair Smith up, and she's got some words of wisdom for you today.
Thank you, Brian. I have words. I'm not sure how wise they are, but I'll tell you how we got here. Good morning. What a great day. I'm so thankful that we're finally here on this stage with our groundbreaking. The Board of County Commissioners, as you know, supports this Fair Center. It's part of our core values that we continue with this. We were able to provide ARPA funds, which is called the American Rescue Plan Act, provided for relief to local governments during the pandemic. Clackamas County received more than $81 million for projects, and our board was very deliberative in how we were going to spend that money. Most of our money, we decided to go to sticks and bricks across the county for very aging structures that we probably would never, ever find money to replace. And I'm very happy that we made that decision. This board has done just that. We dedicated almost $5 million to this facility to make it a reality. This new building will serve as a livestock barn at the annual fair, a place for the FFA and 4-H kids to show their animals. And as a fourth-generation farmer growing up in the area, that is so important that our kids are able to prosper in the agriculture arena. It will also be used for craft shows, concert, and many other community events. Of course, that's not the only benefit that we get here. This piece of infrastructure will aid our community in future public emergencies, as has been stated. And the reason why I'm restating it is because that's how we were able to allocate ARPA funds, because we can use it in times of emergency, mass shelter, evacuations, and health needs. Clackamas County has already partnered with this event center, as Brian and others have said, during our times of emergency. This building will continue to serve both human and animal needs during emergency events. It's a temporary shelter for livestock and people, and I understand that this building will also serve as a place to store disaster supplies, so they are readily available should anyone need it. Simply put, this building expands the capability of the fairgrounds to partner with the county and serve the community for the future in a really big way. On behalf of Clackamas County, I'd like to thank the Fair and Event Center Executive Director, Brian Crow. He's a fabulous visionary. Thank you, Brian, along with all the members of the Fair Board for making today a reality. And I have to say, I thoroughly enjoy working with the Fair Board members. You guys are such a great group of people. I look forward to our continued future together. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We do have a fabulous Fair Board, and I'm proud to work for them. And thank you, Tootie. Appreciate you being here. As I mentioned earlier, the Event Center drives business and revenue to the county and to the city of Canby. When we have large events here, the hotels in Wilsonville and Oregon City get packed with our guests. And that in turn generates transient lodging tax. And transient lodging tax is reinvested in tourism. It's a cycle. And the more we do events here, the more money is generated for tourism, and that gives us an opportunity to create more events. I've been told numerous times by restaurateurs here in town that whenever we have an event, they upstaff because they know that they're going to be busy. Here to talk a little bit more about how this new multipurpose building will impact local business in the Canby area is the Canby Area Chamber of Commerce Director, Belinda Goody.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here this morning. Many of you may not know, but I knew Brian when he worked in Madras, and we worked together on the Madras Air Show for a bit. We were both, he was a volunteer, and we didn't get to know each other very well until I got here, but I was like, oh, you moved over here, so did I. So it was very exciting to see that Brian was here, and he's just the perfect person to shepherd this project into Canby. So I'm really happy for you and proud that you've been able to get this going and get it done. The Canby Chamber of Commerce, we work with the Fairgrounds and Event Center here a lot. We support everything they do. They support us. It's a very wonderful relationship, and we're proud to be able to be here to help them break ground on this new facility. Some of the earliest fairground facilities were constructed in about 1909, just a minute ago, and some were updated about 100 years ago in 1924. This building will replace a barn that was demolished in 2014. So it's definitely needed. It's time. And it's appropriate for what we're trying to do here in Canby. As you've heard, it's going to host events, conferences, which are super important, disaster recovery center for people and animals. You're welcome. The Clackamas County Event Center is a key community partner, not only with us, but bringing events to Canby. Events bring the community together, like Hairfest. We had a great time. Events bring visitors who spend their money here and put Canby on the map for events like Fair and Rodeo, Winterfest, the newly added Brewfest that went really well, and other seasonal events that Canby is known for. I have done events in the past as well, and I know how important they are in terms of people spending dollars here. That helps boost our local economy, helps our businesses, and in turn, we help everybody else in the community. So I am really excited to see what we do here in terms of expanding that ability to bring events here to Canby. So please join me in congratulating Brian, his staff, our Fair Board, and everybody else who had a hand in this wonderful new facility. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm glad you read off your notes and not mine. And finally, I would like you to welcome Fair Board member Gary Linton, who has been deeply involved in this facility and its operations for, I think 50 years now, Gary? And he... Good one. He serves as the liaison from the Fair Board to the construction committee and to our partners in this project.
I'll use the steps, I don't fall down. Where are your notes, Brian? I need a little bit of extra stuff.
Yeah, you can just read the rest.
Okay. Thank you all for coming. I do really appreciate the fact that we have this kind of attendance. Probably nobody likes getting up here less than I do, Brian. But anyway, first of all, I want to thank Christine and Bill for their support. It's been super, and we couldn't have gotten it off the ground. And then, of course, the county commissioners stepped up with their contribution, which put us almost over the edge, but we still have a ways to go. I'd like to give credit to Dan Sandberg, because Dan actually was the liaison before I took over, and we all know that we lost Dan earlier this year. I'm sure Dan would agree that it's been a very interesting journey. Not only the prior years, but the last few months in working with all of the, I'll just say it, bureaucracy that we face in this community and in the county. But we're surging ahead. Regardless of all of the detours that we've had to take and revised planning, we're going to get this building up, and I believe God is shining on us. Yes. The new structure will give the event center an opportunity for numerous activities to be held on the grounds, in addition to housing livestock during the annual fair. It's going to help us gain additional income that will put the event center on a sounder financial footing. The monies obtained to date are a start, but we still need to raise more funds to complete the building. The costs have skyrocketed. I see some of our builders are here, and I know they aren't making any more money because their costs have gone up as well. Your continued support will really be appreciated. I would be remiss if I didn't thank my fellow Fair Board members for their endurance over the past few years, and more than that, thank Brian and his fantastic staff that he's put together that are keeping the wheels on this machine. So with that, I'll give it back to you, Brian. Thank you.
But he said he didn't have to use my notes, but he basically said what I'm saying for the rest of the. And I also want to acknowledge the work put in by Dan Sandberg, who passed away earlier this year after a hard-fought battle with cancer. Dan poured his heart and soul into this project, and he was my partner in helping develop and design what it looked like. He wanted to be kept up to date on the project all the way to the end. And I was proud to be able to do that. And like Gary said, I'm just going to say this the rest of the time, like Gary said, while we have this building approximately 90% funded by grants and contributions, we still have a little way to go. So if you have interest in partnering with us and bridging the gap, we'll put your name inside the building permanently on a plaque. Please reach out to me if you're interested, or Hannah over here, who is our sponsorship coordinator. Every little bit helps us reduce the amount that we're going to have to finance at the end of the day. There's also a QR code right on that sign there. If you want to scan that, it'll show you a couple opportunities for how you can support us through Fred Meyer's Community Partnership Program, or just to make a donation. So this new facility will help ensure that your historic Clackamas County Fair and Fairgrounds will remain a world-class event center for generations to come. I love it when it's busy here. You know, this happens all year round. We have riders come in, use our facility. We're busy, I would say probably 340 days of the year we have something happening down here. And this asset will help us expand the opportunities to hold events during the 9 months of the year that the weather can be a little dicey. I'm so excited about it, and I think it's going to be a boon for us and a boon for the community. So thank you all for coming. We're going to do now the obligatory pictures with golden shovels. So dignitaries and anybody that would like to have your picture taken holding a golden shovel, let's just move right on over to the tractor. And thank you again for coming. God bless you and have a great rest of your week.